Hey guys, it's Sean, Autotopia LA. Today, I'm kind of freaking out over this one. There's a company called Fabrication out of Washington that built one of my all-time favorite cars. This is, no kidding, of all customs that I've ever been around, this is one of my top 3 favorite cars of all time. This is the 51 Ford Coupe, built by Fabrication, owned by Bruce Leven. That's right there. I'm kind of losing it, you guys. Not only because I get to shoot this car and walk you through all the details. This car was a 5-year build, over $1 million invested in this. Nothing left untouched, nothing. The goal was to create perfection, and without question, this is a perfect car. Not only am I freaking out that I actually get to show you guys this and take a few minutes and walk through the details of it, but I get to drive this thing. I'm losing my mind right now. I get to drive this. How lucky am I, man? This is the coolest thing in the world. So we're gonna do a heavy walkthrough on this one. I really wanna show you guys the details, what went into this car, and then we're gonna go for a drive. You guys ready for this? All right, man. Come on, let's do it. All right, you guys, we're gonna do a walkthrough on the details on this because this is a car that deserves it, man. And truth is, if I gave you every detail on it, this video would be like 4 hours long, so we're not gonna do that. So I'm gonna give you some of the general stuff. Number one, the intent of this car was, in the late 50s, what guys were doing was taking 50 and 51 Ford Coupes, dropping Lincoln motors in them, getting more horsepower out of them, and racing them. So the bulk of this car could have been done in the late 50s. You see Lincoln on the side of the car. Why? Well, because it has a 1956 368 Lincoln motor in it. It's got an Art Morrison chassis, independent rear, quick change rear end. The exhaust coming out the side of the car flushed like that is spectacular. I mean, I'm gonna freak out trying to walk you guys through every detail. Look at the motor alone. I mean, the Hillborn stacked injection, I mean, that's one of three in existence. Hillborn stacked fuel injection, nuts. One of the little details that I love so much on this, you see the spark plugs there, because back in the day, that's what they would do. They would have their spares right there. So when they're racing and they fouled a plug, they needed to change a plug, bam, it was right there, grab it, drop it, keep racing. You guys saw the turn signal, right? The way it just pops out like the old taxi cabs. The doors, I mean, look at the perfection of the doors. Look at the fitment of this door. Shut it, bam, perfection. The pedals on here, I mean, you gotta just love the pedals on the interior. The fuel filler on it. I mean, you look inside the trunk, it's like, what is that? I mean, it's just stunning, man. The leather belts for tightening down the trunk and the hood. The magnesium wheels with true knockoffs. Obviously they're true knockoffs because they're safety wired to make sure they don't actually come loose on you. Look at the mix of materials here and the colors. I mean, you look at the depth of the color of the paint. I mean, this is over $100,000 in paint and body, over $100,000. The body's been pretty radically fabricated. There's been some heavy duty work on this. They pancaked the roof. Craig really did make just a perfect vehicle. It's actually got a fire suppression system in there. I mean, the gauges, custom gauges. The fuse panel, that's an old school fuse panel. That's like actually how it was back in the day. Craig went to extraordinary lengths to produce a car that, other than a couple of things, this car actually could have been done in the late 50s. One of the things I really love on it too, you get the stance so right on it, and then the concern would be any dip you hit, any bump in the road you hit, you're gonna tear up that front end, man. There's nothing down there. You see that? That's the body right there. But not with this, because they were smart enough to put air ride on the front. Even though it's coilovers, they put air ride on the front just to get the lift that you need, like any modern Ferrari or Porsche or McLaren. You know, protect the integrity of the car, right? I always love this part right here. I think it's a jewelry box. I think it must have been for Bruce's wife. One of my favorite things too is the shifter on it. Very much not conventional. But honestly, would you really have it any other way than to have that? Look at the way the front hood lifts and sits, right? I mean, it's a work of art, you guys. This is a true work of art. The door handle. There's no handle anywhere. It's a leather strap. Grab it, bam, and watch how it shuts. Perfect fitment, perfect weight, perfect balance. This is cool. I love cars like this where it's almost like, yeah, go ahead, figure out how to start the car and then you can drive it. Well, here it come to life. It's ready to fire. Right? Look at this leather and the rivets on the seats, the belts. This is old school belts, dude. This is seriously old school racing belts right here. I mean, everything, the old school fuse panel. God forbid, should this sucker catch on fire, bam, pull the fire suppression. You know, I mean, this car is true perfection. I mean, look at the seats, you guys. Look at the chrome back with the rivets. It all matches everything. There's nothing not intentional, nothing not completely and totally thought through. So I made a joke about this being potentially Bruce's wife's jewelry box back here. That's the battery, you guys. That's the fuel cell. How about that? Looks like it could be a luggage box or something, but that's our fuel cell. We've even got a tool bag in here. Look at how the spare sits in this car. Look at the straps, every detail, the drill out to match everything. Everything matches perfectly on this. That's the details on the GT51 51 Ford Coupe from Wicked Fabrication. Awesome. Alright, you guys, I'm kind of freaking out right now. I'm bordering on I'm going to talk too much or I'm going to be completely speechless. And I can't believe I'm driving this car right now. I mean, I've seen this car so many times, and now I'm driving it. I'm losing my mind. Understand, guys, over 5 years to build this car, over $1 million invested in this. Oh man, listen to the tone. Little interesting the way it shifts. I was told by Roger, the caretaker of the car, it's a roll of the wrist because you have this extension before it actually gets to the shifting linkage. So I got to remember to roll my wrist a little bit. The intent was to have this be a car that could have actually happened in the late 50s. Bruce, the owner of this car, which by the way, for those of you that don't know, Bruce Leven was, and I say was, a hardcore car guy. He raced 962 Porsches, he raced 935s, he was a self-made guy.
loved cars, was passionate about them, and as a younger guy, he remembers what it was when they took a 51 Coupe, did something crazy like threw a 56 Lincoln 368 in it to make more horsepower and then go racing. So that's what this is. So Bruce was heavily involved in the build process of this car. He wasn't just some wealthy guy that said, yeah, build me this, and then that was that. I never had the pleasure of meeting Bruce, but from what I understand from Craig and Roger, in a very loving way, he was a complete total pain in the ass with the build process. Hey, what the hell's going on? Bruce unfortunately passed away before he got the opportunity to drive this car. It's been a little over 5 months now that since he passed. This car was featured on Jay Leno's Garage. He was knocked out by this car, but I'm just kind of losing it that I'm getting to drive this car right now. It's truly an honor. How beautiful does that sound? Yes, I have gone completely speechless because right now I'm sitting here driving one of my top 3 all-time favorite cars that I didn't know if I would even ever get a chance to go for a ride in. I'm so honored right now that I'm driving this car. Just truly honored. So to say it's an honor to drive this car, you guys, you gotta get, like, this isn't this is a fucking honor to drive this car, man. I'm totally, completely blown away right now. Really moved by what Roger, Craig, the Wicked guys, that they brought this here for me to shoot. I'm pretty much tripping right now, man. This is a special one, man. This is a special one.
So that is the 51 Ford Coupe by Wicked Fabrication. If I seem like I'm a little moved, I really am. It's, man, it's a real honor to get to, guys that have taken this time and energy, money, and built something at this level, and then they allow me to shoot it for the channel so you guys can enjoy it, but I get to drive it. Bruce Leven, the owner of this car, Bruce passed away 5 months ago. Bruce didn't ever get an opportunity to drive the car. It was completed, it was doing the show circuit, including, like I said, being on Leno's show, being at SEMA, Good Guys, Roadster Show, on and on and on. So while it was doing the show circuit, Bruce was ill, and ultimately he passed away before he got an opportunity to drive the car. As a matter of fact, when we were over at Leno's with the car, Bruce was supposed to fly in, but he was just too ill to make the trip. So we got to walk around with him on FaceTime so he could at least see Jay's garage, and Jay was really great with him. Anyways, man, that's the 51 Ford Coupe from Wicked Fabrication, Bruce Leven. And I am truly knocked out right now that I got to do this, man. So, if my enthusiasm dropped a little bit, it's only because I'm completely moved and blown away by this right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, man. I sure did. As always, I gotta say thanks for hanging out and watching the channel. Today, more so than ever, I'm having an extraordinary time doing this. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do it. If you like what we're doing, hit the like button. All right, you guys, thanks a lot for hanging. I'll see you in the next episode, man. Cool. Later.